How you doing? Jason Justice here again in another of our online lessons. Go to my website at www.jasonjustice.com for more information. Also, you're going to find there the download that you need, the link that for this lesson today. That'll be on my downloads and links page. This is called Octaves and Fifths. Why octaves and fifths? Well, this is a continuation of our long tone studies, okay? Also, this is an exercise for our embouchure. We really want to have total control over this beautiful, inanimate object called the saxophone, right? We're the ones that breathe life into it. But in order to have that control, you have to have a lot of strength in your embouchure or up here in your chops, and a lot of knowledge as to how the horn reacts to different things that you're going to do. So today in octaves and fifths, what we're going to do is work on doing an octave and making it a beautiful, smooth transition with the octave key and without the octave key, okay? First thing we're going to do is we're going to get our metronome, our handy-dandy little metronome, right? Like that, okay? I call it Mr. Metronome because I have respect for my metronome, and all my students know that I call it that, and they think that it's corny, but, you know, whatever. So we want to set this for 60 beats per minute, okay? 60 BPM, kind of the rate of a heart. That's it right there, okay? Now, I'm going to turn away from the camera. I know it's a little grainy, but I want you to be able to see what I'm doing on the back of the horn. I'm now going to do this demonstration of the octaves part on E, okay? 3 down on the top, 3 down on the bottom. I'm going to play a half note on the lower octave. Then I'm going to add the octave key to bump it up to the higher octave. And the goal is to be able to do this without tonguing, okay? Just slurring up and down, okay? And the first part I'm going to do with the octave key, then I'm going to stop and I'm going to talk about the second half. Ready? Okay. A little shaky on that first note, but hey, first notes of the day, they always are a little shaky. The second half of that, you see 2 sets of E's next to each other. E, E, and then another E, E. The second one you want to do without the octave key. That's going to require tightening up the chops, putting a little movement maybe on the mouthpiece in order to get it to go from octave to octave without the octave key. Let me show you what I'm talking about. That's it. So we're going to put them in a row. Ready? And. That's it. What does it do for you? Well, it helps you to create that focused tone and give you more control over the mouthpiece, right? Show you what your mouthpiece can do and what your horn can do. Helps build muscle tone in your embouchure, and it pushes us toward that beautiful classical tone that I think is quite necessary for everything. My mantra is classical tone, classical technique with jazz sensibility, and you can play any style of music on the planet, okay? Next thing that I want us to look at is the fifths part of this, all right? There's a whole bunch of notes in there to blow, but we're going to move on to the fifths thing. It's the same deal. What we're doing is we're playing the tonic in the fifth and then the upper octave of a chord, of a major chord, okay? So this is going to help us get into some of those things like jazz chords and knowing what our chords are, a little bit more music theory knowledge, which is always helpful. I'm going to do this on a G, okay? We're going to do the same thing we did with the octaves. There's 2 of them in a row there, right? So we're going to go G to D with the octave, to G with the octave, back to D with the octave, and then down to G with the tonic without the octave. And then we're going to repeat, and we're not going to use the octave key. So here we go. Ready? 2, and. flavor, no vibrato, none of that kind of thing. Just straight tone, all right? I think you're going to find this helpful you're really going to build some muscle tone, right? And you're really going to start having this beautiful tone. A lot of my students can play a whole bunch of notes, but it's really the tone that's the issue. So we want to address that right away in our playing so that we don't have to go back later and work on things like tone, so that we can just jump in and jam wherever we're at and sound great and everybody loves us and you get the gig and they pay you thousands and thousands of dollars to play the saxophone. So that's a little joke. That's a little saxophone humor right there. Anyway, once again, this lesson was called Octaves and Fifths. My name's Jason Justice. I'm a musician and a music educator in Denver, Colorado. Once again, go to my website at www.jasonjustice.com. There's all sorts of links. There's stuff to buy. I even have a line of t-shirts that are pretty cool that have some different sayings on them, and especially this saying: if playing the saxophone was easy, everybody'd be doing it. So remember to practice hard, work on your long tones, work on scales, and play some tunes. Have a good time. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.